on this video. Be sure and leave a like at the end of this presentation. And feel free to leave any comments or questions at the end of this presentation. I answer all of my questions and comments. Hospice has been around for a long time, and people think they know what it is. It's the care of someone who is terminally ill, and that's what they think they know, but there's so much misunderstanding about the hospice benefit. And I know that there's a lot of misunderstanding about hospice because I've heard the family's stories. My name's Kathleen Wetzel. I am a hospice palliative care nurse, and I hear two stories from my families all the time. And the most common thing is that they say they wish they had gotten involved with hospice much sooner. If they had known what it was like, they would have signed up much sooner. The second thing that I hear is just the opposite. It tells me that their doctor told them to just go find out about hospice. Some lady came over and signed them up for hospice, and they said this isn't what they want. They didn't understand. So that's why I'm making this video. And let's just start with the first one, which is the most common and the most damaging misunderstanding about hospice. So hospice was performed by the church or by volunteers, and it was primarily a non-profit service. Today's hospice is just the opposite. The majority of hospice agencies today are for-profit companies. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just something that you need to be aware of. So that if you have a hospice representative come to speak to you about their hospice company, you're talking to a sales rep. And I like to use the analogy of shopping for a car. So just like making any major decision in life, deciding when to start hospice or looking into hospice requires a little homework before you talk to a sales rep. The second thing about hospice that is a common misunderstanding is this is another very damaging misunderstanding about the hospice benefit. Families wait until the patient is very near death before calling for hospice services. It is true, it's still true today, that for a patient to qualify for hospice, two physicians have to say that the patient has a life expectancy of 6 months or less if the disease is allowed to take its natural course and all aggressive treatments are discontinued. This is still true, but because of this, families wait because they think they only have 6 months. They don't want to start too soon. Well, that's not true. If the patient is still alive at 6 months, they get a medical review, and if they are still declining, if they're still very sick, they get another 6 months. So most patients have as much time as they need on the hospice service. So this brings us to the last, but not least, misunderstanding about hospice. Just like the pregnant lady wants a physician who knows how to deliver babies, so the person who no longer wants aggressive treatment but still needs a lot of medical care, they need the services of a hospice physician. And remember, we were just talking about 6 months or even more that this patient will need medical care, but it needs to be appropriate to their unique situation as a hospice patient near the end of their life and no longer wanting aggressive care. And there's so much more about hospice. I can't tell you everything on this video. I hope this video has cleared up any misunderstandings that you had about hospice. Please like this video if it has been of any help to you, and leave comments or questions if you have any. And I strongly suggest that you go ahead and investigate more. There are National Hospice Palliative Care organization is one of many that has some excellent videos that will further explain to you all the wonderful benefits to the hospice program.